Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another Asmus 1/6 scale figure unboxing and review. Today, we're going back to the 80s. We're taking a look at the real hair version of Snake Plissken, based off his appearance in Escape from New York. Now, I got mine direct from Asmus as a review sample. Even though they've said this to me, all opinions 100% my own. If you're looking to grab this, I've popped a link to their site in the description. Not an affiliate link though, I don't earn any commission from it, just straight to their website. If you're heading down to the description, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button, so you're notified as soon as brand new 80s movie content goes live. It's been a while since we've looked at anything from Asmus. Not to say I don't like the other stuff they're working on, Lord of the Rings and the video game figures. It's just that I was waiting for them to announce the right piece to jump back in. Then when they contacted me and said, Justin, would you like to review the rooted hair version of Snake from Escape from New York? I could not say no to that. As for the box art, it's a sizable box, so yeah, I'm getting pretty excited to get him out here. Up front, we've got this almost radar screen looking print on the translucent frosted plastic dark green slipcover. New York off to one side, the island of Manhattan, with the red tracking dot in the middle that could either be the president's tracker or the watch tracker thing that Snake was wearing. Smack bang in the middle, a metallic red foil, Escape from New York logo. This video is brought to you by JustinsCollection.shop, the home of the figure first aid kit, as well as other accessories to help your collection be the best it can be. The first aid kit contains multiple tools to help you with maintenance, styling rooted hair, and much more. We also sell crotch grabbers, soft rubber tips to prevent damage, and they're compatible with most modern Hot Toys base molds. Acrylic risers come in multi-packs, they're optically clear, thick and sturdy, and stackable. Check out the link to JustinsCollection.shop in the description. Spoiler alert, this is actually the inner cardboard box. It's a really thick, heavy-duty cardstock. We've got Escape from New York and his name in the middle, once again red foil, that pops against the blue background, and a mix of finishes. Gloss for the window surrounds, and satin finish for everything else. The frosty slipcover just feels so premium. It's smooth, it's slick, but it's textural at the same time. Anyway, it's the Easter eggs that sell me with this box art. We've got the outline, it could be the wall or the rest of the island, I don't know, and the master clock, it reads 2017-42, so I guess at this point, Snake wouldn't have left yet. If I'm remembering correctly, when he departed, it was around 19 hours. I'm kind of thinking I might need to somehow figure out a way to display the box, or even the slipcover. I don't know, it is a big box though, not sure if that's even going to be possible. Ooh, I might need to figure it out, because what they've done with the front of the inner box is bloody brilliant, you'll see what I mean. It looks like the poster for the film, with the head of the Statue of Liberty on the ground amongst all this rubble, then we've got the street scene that wraps around the side, the skyline in the background. In the movie, the Statue of Liberty wasn't destroyed. Liberty Island was the police force's base, but this is accurate to the poster. If you're noticing these two little Velcro dots, they're there for a very specific reason. But they've printed this almost bullet hole detail around them, just in case you don't want to use them for what they're intended for. It's numbered. I didn't think they were going to number these, but yeah, there it is, hand-numbered, H003. I guess I got the third one off the production line. Around the back, big Escape from New York up top in metallic red foil, his name, a read-up for the film, as well as warnings and legal information. Check this out, so you can open up the flap, held in place with magnets. There's a read-up inside of it, as well as this is his tattoo in high gloss. I was always wondering what the bottom of that looked like, because you never get to see it in the movie. This Escape from New York logo. It's a separate, thick cardboard piece. The printing is pretty nice with the raised lettering done in red foil, but around the back, see that? Velcro. You can attach this logo to the front of the box. You can angle it, you can keep it straight if you want to. Now there's a proper 3D raised logo on the box itself. It acts as a diorama backdrop. I'm considering popping snake in front of this, like I said in the display, it just comes down to if I can fit this in there or not. Such a fun use for the front of the box. Rather than this thing going in storage or getting recycled, now you can actually use it. If I can fit it in the display, I absolutely will. There's a dense instruction literature packet right up top. Then we've got the head sculpt packaged separately to protect the hair in transit, and Snake Plissken's body. I just touched this nameplate. It's very cold to the touch. That must be die cast. First in-hand impressions for Snake's body. So far, interesting. I'm not loving the joints on the arms, but don't worry if you're in the same boat. They've included some switch-out seamless arms and a genuine leather jacket, so you don't have to see those joints if you don't like them either. What we're going to do now is get all of Snake's accessories laid out in the light box. They're all underneath this foam layer, and take a closer look at everything he comes with. Starting off with the display base first. I reckon gone are the days of diorama bases. Instead, what we're looking at is an Easter egg base. It's not as easy to work with as a diorama, and the main difference between the two is a diorama, by definition, is a scene or an environment that you can put the figure inside of, whereas an Easter egg base is instead chock full of references, Easter eggs from the movie. We've got the torch and hand from the Statue of Liberty, add some green to the base. It's a little bit small and out of scale. You could argue forced perspective if you wanted. Some tires integrated into the rubble. A lot of speckling and dirt and grime on the surface. Cab door off to one side. Now we've got some yellow going on. Glossy black for the window. And this real paper newspaper on the side of the door. The printing is just sharp enough for the smallest text that you can read it using magnifying glass, probably not with your naked eyes, at least I can't. Around the back, it's relatively smooth, but there is paint back here. This flat platform at the front, and we've also got some other flat platforms, should be just enough room to work with to get Snake standing on it. Around the front, the Snake Plissken nameplate, isn't die cast. It's steel. It's real steel. I checked the website, that's exactly what they said it is. Then up top, a flight pole and a spring-loaded waist clamp. I wish they also gave us a crotch grabber, but it's a small, compact, yet very Easter egg heavy base. I love the way this looks. We've been asking for this for years. Hot Toys, I'm looking at you. Whenever there's a character with exposed arms, yes, go seamless, that's fine. But also include a pair of jointed arms. These are not here to be pretty, they're just meant to be used for either the jacket or maximum range for dynamic posing. There's some shading, a little bit of skin texture, vein work. They're serviceable, but they don't look anywhere near as good as the seamless ones. Way more skin texture, the paint apps are a lot nicer, yet they're still articulated. They're not made of medical silicone, they're like a thermoplastic rubber, they're thick, they're sturdy, they're durable. For dynamic posing, I would rock the jointed ones though. Then when you're putting on the jacket, go jointed as well. Luckily, Snake has two things on his wrists, so his wrist pegs are going to be completely hidden. This, the activation button for the tracker, actually opens. Then there's a printed screen on the watch. The strap's got some weathering on it, painted silver rivets, and there's a high gloss on the screen. It's got this bubble effect to it, like it's an actual display. They went so crazy with the detail here. Not just the paint and sculpt, the radio/walkie-talkie looks great, but you can switch out the antenna, and I don't think I've ever seen a company do this before. The dial actually moves on the side of the radio. Completely unnecessary, but it makes me so happy. He didn't have this for long. It's the tracking device that he uses to track the president. There's that glossy bubble effect for the screen and a readout underneath it. Not as much weathering on this, maybe a little. Is this an Uzi or a Mac 11? You'll have to let me know down in the comments. I am by no means a gun guy. We've got a sling around the back. It's a single point sling. Some functional buckles, you can adjust it, and some real metal loops. The weapon itself is painted in gunmetal with this heavy flake to it. Then there's some rusty speckling over the top. Removable magazine, absolutely, painted bullet detail up top. You can slide this piece back and the ejection port opens. You can even see the bullets in the magazine through there. When you slide the top bit back, it actually brings the door for the ejection port along with it. That is some crazy engineering inside of this. But my favorite detail is the trigger can move. Another thing that you just don't see very often in 1/6 scale. The suppressor can be removed, and the scope can be flipped around. This looks like a revolver version of G1 Megatron. Can anyone else see that? Probably not what they were going for. I don't even know if Transformers were a thing in 81 when this film came out, but still, I see it. Metallic silver for the main body, high gloss black for the side, matte black for the handle, some speckling for weathering over the top. You can rotate the middle section, painted bullet detail, and the sight can come off. It's a pretty secure mini rail that this thing slides onto, so I don't think it's ever going to fall off on its own. His jacket. He doesn't wear it for long in the movie. Once he hits the streets of New York, he's no longer wearing this, but I'm still glad it's included. It's lined on the inside. We've got proper functional zippers, real zippers on the pockets too. It looks aged and weathered. There's some discoloration at play, and that is something I noticed about the jacket in the film. It did look like this. The leather grain isn't fake. This is a genuine leather jacket, and you can smell it too. As soon as you open the baggie that this is in, it will hit you immediately. It's not that bulky, thick, genuine leather that some companies use. This should sit on the body fairly nicely, but we'll find out later on in the video. And lastly, pairs for all the hands. 2 gripping ones. The fingers are soft enough you can pry them open to pop weapons, accessories in there without having to grab a hairdryer. Rosy shading on the knuckles, sculpted fingernails, some vein work, and some skin texture. Trigger finger hands, same thing with these. Nice and pliable, just pop the guns in there. They're not really relaxed open palm hands, but they sort of work as them. They're more like 2 finger pointing / gesturing hands. Maybe they're meant to be used with his walkie-talkie or his tracker. And 2 closed fists. What we're going to do now is get Plissken himself out here. Standing straight up and down in the light box, no crazy poses or anything like that. Accessories, on the other hand, so many things on him. I've installed all of the pouches on his belt. You need to do that. Then the guns in their holsters, walkie-talkie around the back on the belt, and I've popped on the jacket. With him now fully assembled, he looks like $1,000,000. He oozes presence. I was trepidatious at first because a lot of people have the sideshow Snake Plissken and they swear by it, not the head sculpt, but everything else. Asmus, you have a big fat W on your hands. He might not be 100% perfect. There is a lot for us to dive into off the turntable. But for right now, I'm just eating this piece up. Oh, he is pissed. Up close and personal, kicking things off with Snake Plissken's head sculpt. Right off the bat, is it a 10? Does it look like Kurt Russell from every angle? How is the likeness? Just answering the most difficult question immediately. It's solid. I'd say this sculpt is comfortably 7.5 to 8.5, with potential for it to get up to a 10 if you mess with the hair and you move that eye to meet the likeness where it's at its strongest. 3/4 turn, that's Kurt Russell. Front on, still see it, but not as much. From the other side, 3/4 turn, yeah, that's him again. All of the details that need to be there are present, like the scar, the beard that's been sculpted, then the feathered paint apps over the top so it blends in with the skin tone. The skin texture is both painted and sculpted. The redness under that eye, the eyelashes have been painted on, the eyebrows look good. So paint and sculpt wise, it's all there. It's just going to be up to you to bring out the likeness as much as you possibly can. Oh, that's going to ruffle some feathers. Some people are going to love that, needing to do a little bit of work to get it that extra 5% of the way there. Others, not so much. It needs to come perfect right out of the box. If that's you, the sculpted hair figure might be the best option. I wish I could compare the two because this rooted hair is like that real wool artisan quality stuff, but the way it's been styled, there is so much product in it. It looks like that's glue or something. It isn't. It's just the gel they've used to keep everything in place. The hair feels solid. If I was to wash it and style it myself, I like to think I'd be able to do a good job, but very likely I'd ruin it. So even though the hair isn't looking the best it possibly can right now for my copy, it's probably just going to stay like this. It sounds like I'm trash talking it. I'm not. There's soft, fuzzier bits at the bottom, then the product kicks in at the top just to lock everything down. I think they saw the feedback that Hot Toys and InArt were getting where collectors didn't want to do any styling, so they went overboard with the product on this piece. For future rooted hair figures, Asmus, and this is not their first rodeo with rooted hair by any means, maybe use a little bit less product. Now, the eye patch is sculpted on, you can't remove it, and there's even some speckling, some weathering over the top. To move that eye, they've gone with a magnetic style neck connector. The magnet is at the top there, but the sculpt actually splits in half. I've never seen a company do that before, but it's very clever. That way you've got unlimited access inside the sculpt to move the eye, and you're not messing up the hairstyle by taking the head sculpt off. Putting it back on, easy as, just pops on with a magnet. This head sculpt with some side eye really comes to life. See what I mean? Looking off to the other side now, the expression, the subtle furrowed brow, you can see the wrinkling at the top there. He had this stern look on his face for most of the movie, but specifically at the start when he was wearing this jacket. So for my figure, I'm leaning towards the real leather jacket. Speaking of which, how is the darn thing? The jacket itself fits the body well, but there's a problem. His arms, they are quite bulky, and there's no cutout underneath his armpits for the biceps to slot into, so when you add the jacket over the top, even though it's not overly thick, it's a thin, genuine leather, his arms still stick out by his sides. In a running pose, in a gun-holding pose, it's not going to be a problem. For a neutral pose, he looks a little gorilla-armed. You can futz with this, you can adjust it. I've pushed the arms up and in as far as they will go for a neutral stance. This is what it looks like. At least it hugs the torso well and bulks up his traps, plus frames his shoulders. All of this you'll need to work with when you slide the jacket on. Oh, and use the jointed arms for this, not the seamless ones. It's the patina, the aged look, the distressed leather vibe it's got going on. That's why I'm leaning towards this in a pose. For a neutral stance, probably going to ditch the jacket. The vest underneath it, stretchy black spandex, it's tight enough it conforms to the body, showcasing the muscle groups underneath. You'll see once we remove the jacket. The zippers up top, they're sculpted in, and yes, they are movie accurate, they're meant to be there. All of this on his belt, you have to do yourself. A lot of assembly is required. The pouches, the walkie-talkie, the holsters even. Then you need to put the guns in the holsters. It'll take some time, just work with it. It's not the most difficult thing in the world to do. The pouches have this really intense leather grain texture on the surface. They're sculpted PVC plastic. And the hooks that slide onto the belt, they're real metal clips. So even if you put some pressure on them as you're installing these pouches, I don't think you're going to snap them. Proper die-cast buckle up front. You can adjust the belt. I like to sit it up high, but then again, it feels more comfortable slightly lower. There's no belt loops at the front. Instead, there's belt loops at the back. And interestingly enough, they sit low and at an angle. The pants, white/Arctic camo. Why was he wearing this? I don't know. Apparently he robbed a bank. Could he have done that in Arctic camo pants? Yeah, potentially. That just Snake Plissken's vibe. Real proper pockets. Does he have pockets at the top? No, I don't think so, but that's probably accurate anyway. Then inverted split cut boots with this top part sliding into the shoe. Once again with the intense but finer leather grain texture on these. Weathering, this rusty effect for the armored plate, these straps and buckles that stick out past the boots, you can see that right there, and these spikies. They are so prickly. Please, when you're handling Snake Plissken, be very careful of the spikes. On the underside, some sculpted and fully painted weathered tread. It's time to look at some options, showcase his proportions. Let's ditch the jacket, leaving on the visible jointed arms, then we can go seamless. With the jacket removed, the arms sit a lot closer to the body. But then again, they wouldn't be able to be completely flush anyway because of the SMG and the revolver in their holsters. Those two weapons would push the arms out to his side, so there would be some gappiness. Nevertheless, if they'd have shaved out some extra plastic from the armpit area, then they would have been able to go even closer to the body, ignoring those weapons. The visible joints, not my thing. At the very least, the proportions, they look good. Some folks have said his body isn't good, his head is too large. Having just rewatched the movie, I don't mean to sound rude, but Kurt Russell did have a relatively sizable head in proportion to the rest of his body. Traps look good, shoulders are big. I don't have an issue with the body that Asmus went with. On the body, quickly, Detour, want to show you the instruction manual? This is one of the best instruction manuals I've ever seen. It is chock full of beautiful high-resolution figure photography and tips to get this figure looking its best. Plus, they even tell you what to do if the wrist peg breaks in his hands. But according to this instruction manual, he's got the tattoo. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to confirm that because the tank top extends down and connects underneath his crotch so it doesn't ride up, which I'm okay with, and to be totally honest, seeing that split for the midsection joint, he wouldn't be displayable like that anyway. Back to Snake himself, one more thing to try, the seamless arms. See, Asmus, now we're cooking. Seamless arms. They not only don't have any visible joints and ugliness on them, but they sit closer to his body. Just because of the squishy nature of the material, you can compress it on the inside underneath his armpit area, and they sit much more flush versus the jointed ones. These arms, they're likely going to stay on my Snake because for 90% of the movie, this is what he looked like. But for the articulation segment, let's go back to the jointed ones. I've got one on. I wanted to show you the process installing the second one. It's so easy. Ball joint receiver, hold the body, push the arm in place, voila, job done. I'm a bit of a continuity nut in my videos. I like things to flow properly, so I feel the need to explain it when it's probably not necessary. I've now installed the jacket over the jointed arms for the sake of the comparison segment. Then we can remove it for the articulation segment, and after that, seamless arms back on for the wrap-up. For a quick side-by-side comparison, my 80s action movie badass shelf is coming along so nicely with the addition of Snake Plissken. Snake on the left played by Kurt Russell, then Sly Stallone as Rambo on the right, specifically from First Blood Part 2 by 3-0. Technically speaking, both of these gents are meant to be 5'9", so they should be the same height. Give or take a couple of mil in 1/6 scale due to the soles of their boots. Does it bother me that Snake is ever so slightly shorter than Rambo? No, not really. Once you pop him on his Easter egg base, that will more than take care of the height difference. Going over articulation, I thought I'd leave the visible joint arms on, just in case you don't care about aesthetics. If you want to see maximum range, if you want maximum range for posing, these are the arms to go with. But before we get there, starting off with his head sculpt, double ball peg inside the neck, the head is attached to the neck connector with a magnet, so looking pretty much all the way forward, looking up to there, swivel, and tons of pivot side to side. Arms will go up to there at the shoulders. That'll be the same range with the seamless arms, except there's ratchets versus these ones just friction joints. forward and back, they hinge out at the same time. Butterfly joint at the shoulder, it hinges up and down. Swivel at the bicep, you can see all of this stuff. Double bend at the elbow, hinge and swivel for the wrist peg. Nicely hidden on both sides with either his watch or the little tracker activation bracelet. Midsection joint, waist joint, combined crunching forward to there, which is more than I was expecting, going back to there, swivel, and some pivot side to side. Padded legs on ratchets though, going forward at the hips to there before they lock out, going out to there, click your ratchets, swivel at the upper thigh. Double bend at the knee, friction joints, past 90. Then an inverted split cut boot design with the top part sliding into the shoe and a double ball peg for the ankles, good for forward and back rotation, as well as some ankle tilt. Wrapping up on the best 1/6 scale snake Plissken that's ever been released by any company. This figure is epic. The Asmus Crown Series rooted hair snake Plissken, totally worth getting. Like, just the unboxing experience alone feels special. The frosted radar screen looking slipcover, then the logo you can attach with Velcro, so unnecessary but brilliant. The instruction manual. I've never gone on about an instruction manual the way I have with this Asmus snake Plissken. The real leather jacket, it's soft and supple. It looks realistic. It smells great. The proportions for the body without the jacket even better, but with the jacket on, still good. The head sculpt with the rooted hair and the magnetic half sculpt detachment method. They have thought about everything. The real newspaper on the Easter egg base. The steel nameplate. Now I'm just going through the list of things that they've done well, which is almost everything. The only complaints I have: his arms can't go fully flush down by his sides with the jacket on, and the likeness, unless you hunt for it, unless you really work for it, isn't flawless. But everything else is. So if you're on the fence about getting this, but you find yourself in desperate need of a 1/6 scale snake Plissken, because the Sideshow one just doesn't do it for you, cop this. I highly doubt you're going to regret it. Most of the comments I've seen online about people who ordered this, they're saying, oh, I wasn't sure at first, but now I have it, it's blown me out of the water. That is the same exact sentiment I've got. Now, they sent me this as a review sample, but all opinions have been 100% my own. Just turns out they did a really great job. I've popped a link to their site in the description if you're looking to grab this. Not an affiliate link, I don't earn any commission from it. If you're heading down to the description, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button if you like the sound of seeing your name in the end credits of my reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next video.